Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is Reservations, and I'm Rain Whalen.
And I'm Corn Fritter McMuffin.
Oh, okay. I didn't hate it, but yeah, it was stupid. Yeah, literally right before we started, Jeremy goes, "You're gonna hate my name." But no, I didn't hate it. It was just, it was very stupid.
It's really dumb, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Corn Fritter McMuffin.
Yeah, it's a good one, right?
So what is it, like, you went to McDonald's, ordered a McMuffin, and then went somewhere and bought a corn fritter?
So here's how I do names. So this time, I said, "Oh, honey, I don't have a name yet." And Haley goes, "Corn Fritter Mick something." And I was like, well, whatever she had said. I was like, I don't like that last name, but Corn Fritter's fine. We were just going down, like, we're trying to figure out what a last name would be. And so a lot of it's just like stream of consciousness. Like last week with Barnaby Jones, like that had cultural significance for me. But, they just, it doesn't matter. Earlier in the season, Chester McBadbat, was a...
See, that one, I think that one so far has been my favorite.
That was obviously a love letter to Fairly Odd Parents. But, I mean... yeah. I don't think about him like the logistics of what it means necessarily. Yeah. I go by sound. That's what I go by.
Whatever sounds good.
Yeah, I'm like Andre 3000, man. Andre 3000, he doesn't read music. He doesn't know how, so he just goes by sound. That's what I do,
Well, and what a name to pick for this episode. So if everyone didn't start our end of season series last week, this episode is our 200th episode.
Woo!
That's so insane to me that this is 200 episodes.
Yeah, 200.
Dude, I don't know what we're gonna do for the 300 when we get there. Like,
I know we got a while because our 100th was what, like a year or so ago. So I mean, we got a year.
Let's see.
Basically.
Yeah, let's see.
If we keep at our normal rate, maybe a year and a half ago. Idiots. Sorry, my cats are being terrible, as always.
Let's see. Oh, what the hell?
Mostly Annie.
What the damn hell? Oh, 2 years.
Okay.
Our 100th episode was September 29th, 2021.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's been a while. So yeah, so we have a while before we have to think about something else.
Yeah. So dude, I do want to ask you this before we jump into everything. I first kind of asked you to do this. Did you think we would have been doing this for 200 episodes?
I don't know. Probably not. I figured we would have given up by now, maybe. But no, I mean it's too much fun, and it's something to look forward to during the week,
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't think we'll ever stop, to be honest, unless one of us like dies, I guess.
I was gonna say starts hating movies. Like, you know what? I don't like movies anymore.
Well, honestly, like, really only if you die, then this would stop, because I don't know how to do any of the stuff. So
yeah, I mean you could always call Alex.
I guess that's true.
But then you'd have to figure out all the logins for everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's amazing that not only have we've never like had a discussion about, hey, we should probably share passwords and stuff. I've never asked for passwords or access to any of this. I just I show up, I speak, I promote, it's over.
Well, see, in a normal world, in a more professional capacity, the editors and stuff would have all of that.
That's it.
and at least I would assume so. Like the editors and the producers, they would have all that, and then yeah, we just show up, do our thing, and then fuck off.
Well, right. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I just thought of that just now. That I was like, I've never asked for access to any of it. I guess I could. I don't know. I
mean,
wouldn't know what
yeah,
to do with it if I got it.
I could make a spreadsheet and be like, hey, this is a login for that. It's a login for that. There you go. Have fun.
Maybe one of these days.
Well, getting back on track for what we're doing for this episode, because for the 100th, we decided to do sort of a celebration of the Big Lebowski, and have some testimonials. This time around, instead of asking for more testimonials, which I'm sure we could have.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that this time.
Oh, I mean, I thought about it, but I was like, we'll save that for the 300th. We'll do more testimonials for the 300th. But for this one, this was kind of your idea. I mean, I, in a way, kind of gave you the idea a while back, but you had the idea that we should essentially do a watch a movie with us, or what is it, Mystery Theater 3000?
Well, yeah. So we could like Mystery Science Theater 2000. I've seen other podcasts do watch a movie with me where you just say, okay, ready, 3, 2, 1, go, and then everyone pushes play, and then we just discuss as the movie's going along. And Mystery Science Theater is more of it's obviously they pick movies that are terrible, and then they make fun of it over it, right? This is not going to be that necessarily, because we love the movie that we picked. Even though I haven't seen it in 15 years, probably, or more.
So sidebar, I just recently rewatched this.
Oh man, so you have a leg up on me for sure, because I haven't seen this in forever.
Well, and I've rewatched it since, like not since, like I rewatch it at least at some point once a year.
Oh, okay. So wow, you're very familiar.
Yeah, dude, the movie. I mean, the movie's fantastic. I mean,
no, it is. I completely agree with you. Yeah, the one that I watched this one obviously a lot when I was a kid. The other one would be the Batman Superman movie. Tim Daly and Kevin Conroy. So good, and I think it's 2 Superman episodes put together for the Batman Superman movie.
I believe so. Yeah. Technically,
technically they're from the Adventures of Superman animated series, or Superman the animated series, whatever it's called. Which I was never as into as a kid.
Yeah, I agree. Well, hey, so if you don't remember, everyone, we were doing Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, which exists in the Batman animated series world. But yeah, no, I was the same way. I was never a big fan of the Superman animated series, until they did the Justice League show. That was awesome. Which I believe is sort of a direct continuation of the animated series.
I believe that is correct. I believe it's a continuation of both. Meant to be sort of they're connected in some sort of way.
Right.
I believe.
But if anyone remembers last season when we did Batman and Batman Returns, you actually mentioned that those movies essentially gave us this animated show.
Yes. Yeah. So much so that they use the Danny Elfman score in the animated series. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I remember seeing this movie, and as a kid, because obviously you and I probably watched it a lot as kids. And I remember it kind of scaring me a little bit, but I kept coming back to it. I was like, oh, this is kind of scary. Like, I didn't expect this. Yeah. But then I would catch myself finding it on our movie shelf and being like, all right, I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah. Most def. All right. Sorry. I'm just I'm excited and a little nervous. See how this is gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Seem
everyone's
like
so
yeah,
so so if this episode flops, just let us know because this is new territory for us.
definitely.
Um,
Hang on, let me see if I can prop this up. I think I can. Sorry. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's exciting. Sorry, I need to prop this up. Can I put my phone on it? No. Well, that would have been cool. Anyway, never mind.
yeah,
So I have this
so
table here that I'm trying to fuck with. Ooh, shut up.
yeah, so just like all the other episodes, the audio will come out, so you're just going to hear our live reactions to it. And then, of course, on Wednesday we're going to put out the video, which will be interesting. Hopefully, it does not get removed from YouTube. I don't
Well, I mean,
foresee
let's hope not. Although it's very possible that it might. So
it might. I mean, but we'll let everyone. I mean, you'll know if
yeah,
everyone try to goes to the YouTube channel and it's suddenly missing.
and our
I don't.
channel is suspended forever.
I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. Anyway, so without further ado, everyone, let me get over to the screen. So do you want to do on the count of 3, Jeremy?
So I was thinking we would count down from 3 to 1, and then we click play on go. All right.
On go. Okay.
So yeah, so it'll be 3, 2, 1, go, and then that go is when you hit play. All right.
All right. Well, would you like to count us down, buddy?
Sure. All right, you ready?
Okay. I'm
All right,
ready.
everybody listening? Zach. Wait for my cats to settle. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right. And the movie has started.
Yeah.
Now, I never really clocked it as a kid that Bugs Bunny was a part of the logo for animation, like for animated movies.
Uh-huh.
Because he also might be on the Space Jam one also. With this, I would need to go back and watch Space Jam, but
I think he might be.
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Also, can I say this choir always, this is I think what would scare me a little bit.
It's very ominous, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really ominous.
Here's what I really appreciate though about this movie for just in general is that it is Batman the Animated Series, but it separates itself from the show, right? Like
yeah.
the show would never do these like sweeping, computer generated, animated shots, right, of the city of Gotham, and it's really neat. It's really cool. Again, like Roger Ebert said that this was one of the best Batman films, period, at the time of its release. So,
well, and to piggyback on that, a lot of people have tried to figure out when it takes place in the timeline of the animated series, because it is in the animated series universe, but there is a lot of kind of inconsistencies about like, well, when does it take place?
Right.
Honestly, I don't need to know. Like,
no, I don't think it's that important.
Yeah.
Something that I've always loved about this show, and obviously the movie, is just the aesthetic of it, right? Like, you can't tell if it's like the 1950s, right? If it's modern day, whatever. Like their suits, the cars, the guns, like it's all sort of mixed matched, right? Which I really like.
Yeah. Also, can we say that this is probably like the best version of Batman also put to anything?
I agree. I mean, Kevin Conroy, of course, is the Batman, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Shout out to Kevin Conroy.
oh
He
man,
will
may he
forever
rest
be
in
missed.
peace.
Did you know? I'm sure you didn't. Oh god, dude. Dude, the Phantasm, bro, the design of the Phantasm was so good.
And
Um,
so it's Stacy Keach, I think, plays the voice of the Phantasm, I think.
really.
Yeah, I can look that up.
Um,
Yeah, it's Stacy Keach.
nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was it? Oh, Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, give it a go.
He got the opportunity to play a live action version of his Batman.
Did you do it?
In the CW Arrowverse shows, they did this crossover event called Elseworlds,
Mm-hmm.
and they visit. Was it Elseworlds? It was a crossover event, and they visit a different Earth, and it's Kevin Conroy as Batman in that Earth.
I mean, is he
But
like old Bruce Wayne, like in Batman Beyond?
in a way,
Okay.
his Batman is actually kind of sadistic. Really,
Oh.
he's in a full body suit because his Batman is the Batman that killed Superman,
Oh.
and so he's in a suit because Superman broke his body,
Oh.
and so um and but I mean I was like I remember watching that episode and I literally applauded and no one was watching it with me, so if anyone caught me they would have thought I was just applauding it. um but yeah, man, it was cool.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy will be missed. Also, this is another reason why this movie doesn't need to like fit into the timeline,
Yeah.
because I hate Arthur so much. He's such an annoying character.
Yeah. See, and you see the cameras and the hats and the suit. Like, I mean, again, I really like the aesthetic of Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Batman and Kevin Conroy, in kind of preparation for this, I just finished my like 5th or 6th playthrough of Batman Arkham Knight
Uh-huh.
again. And you know, Kevin Conroy is the Batman of those games,
Mm.
which is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But now, okay. Okay, this may be a spoiler, but this is, now that I'm older, this is the one thing I guess I could say I have a problem with, but I understand, is, okay, spoiler everyone, it's revealed that Andrea is the Phantasm. We literally just saw her in the parking garage. How is she on a plane now?
Well, I mean, it
Like,
might be like we don't know how long it's been, right? Like for Batman to have gotten to the Batcave, to analyzing glass or whatever, and all that stuff. You know, for him to have done all of that, she probably could have gotten on a plane. You know,
I'm like, we literally just saw her in a parking.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But to be fair, so was he. He was in a parking garage, and he's already home. So
that's true. I know. I'm like, but how did she?
yeah.
Oh, this dumb bitch. Okay, and like, this is something else too that I've never understood. Like, hang on. She, like, she clearly has a history with Bruce, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, well, so this movie, I mean, so it serves as sort of like a stepping stone into like the first few years of Batman too, right? So like especially with the flashbacks and things, it's sort of like Batman Year One, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe this is like once we get into Batman the Animated Series, like he's fully fledged Batman, right?
Yeah, that makes more sense. That
Yeah, because
that
here it's
this
more
would
like
be
year one, year two,
yeah,
of
that makes
Batman.
sense. You
Yeah.
know, I never, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I've never once thought about that.
No, we don't know who any of these people are because by the time we get to the animated series, he's Batman.
Yeah.
Or that's not true at all, and I don't know what's going on. But
I feel like I've tried to find some sort of evidence that when this takes place, but even though I literally just said it doesn't matter, but at the same time, it's like I kind of need to know. I kind of
yeah,
want to know. Now I
because
will say they did a fantastic job of Andrea comes back up again
mhm.
in the Justice League Unlimited.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. There's an episode where they kind of, I'm a little disappointed in it. They kind of retcon Terry McGillis's origin story,
Mhm.
where he's essentially a clone of Bruce Wayne
Oh, that's interesting.
because Amanda Waller was trying to recreate the things that made Bruce Wayne become Batman
Mhm.
for Terry, because she wanted Terry to be the next Batman. And she enlists the help of Andrea as the Phantasm, but then Andrea backs out at the last second because like she was going to kill Terry's parents, but Andrea backs out at the last second because she's like, this isn't right. Like this isn't what Bruce would have wanted.
Interesting.
And yeah, the episode's a little convoluted because again they kind of retcon Terry McGillis's origin story,
Yeah.
but also if anyone doesn't know, hasn't watched Batman Beyond, it's also phenomenal.
Oh, definitely. Batman Beyond is so good.
Yeah,
And
this whole
especially Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. I mean,
dude. So I know we're doing this movie, but like, and we're watching it. But like, I recently just watched a video where like that they were gonna try to take the same approach with this movie with Return of the Joker,
mhm.
a little bit more adult, some more adult themes,
Yeah.
and apparently the finished product when they showed it to like the executives and stuff like that, it horrified them because it was like apparently like super fucked up, and so they had to drastically like heavily like edit it
Yeah.
to make it slightly more kid friendly. Like one of the things that got edited was how the Joker dies at the beginning of the movie,
Mhm.
which is he, I think in the messed up version he electrocutes himself.
Oh,
Um, and then they censored it when they premiered it on TV.
mhm.
I don't remember what it was censored to, but I think if you watch the version on Max, it's the original version.
Okay, good.
So, yeah. Um,
Oh, geez.
but yeah, that one I remember less of than I do
Mhm.
this one because, dude, this one is just so good.
Well, yeah, because like again, it's like the origins of Batman, but it's also more of a Bruce Wayne story than anything,
Mm-hmm.
which you don't get in most Batman films. You don't get like this. I would say maybe 60 to 70% Bruce Wayne, right?
Yeah,
And
I would
then
agree.
yeah, 40 to 30% Batman, which is not what you typically get for Batman movies, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, seeing Bruce like kind of try to figure out what he's trying to do here, like,
right.
is
Like
just
trying to
really
get in
cool.
that like he doesn't have a costume yet, like he's just trying it out, right? To see if
Yeah,
oh, and
you know,
there's what's his face?
yeah, it makes me wonder if Nolan used this as reference for Batman Begins.
I don't know, maybe. Because again it was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Or at least, like among Batman fans, I mean it's a big deal. It's significant. And I think people might underestimate it because it's animated and because it comes from the series. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even even the series is like this. This isn't like they didn't punch it up or they didn't like make it more mature or more slick for this movie. I mean, the series is exactly like this, right?
Yeah, I think the most that they really did for this is, they added in some small blood here and there,
Sure.
because they could. Um,
I mean, I would.
yeah, a little bit more like innuendo,
Uh-huh.
because yeah, he for sure fucks Andrea later in the movie,
I mean, for sure.
for sure. But yeah, you're absolutely right, man. Like the animated series is just so good. Um, and I think it's because of Bruce Timm, who I think was one of the writers,
Mhm.
and I know he was one of the co-directors for this. Um, he also helped with the story. Speaking of the Batman games, he also helped with the Arkham games. He helped with Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, and apparently that was his story that he was trying to tell. And then he
Oh, I didn't know
left
that.
and didn't help with Arkham Knight, which is my personal favorite. But it is kind of evident that Bruce Timm is not involved with
Yeah.
Arkham Knight. The story is a little too convoluted, but I
Nailed it.
I love all the like 1%er stuff that they put in here for Bruce.
Yeah.
Would you trip over some loose cash?
I do love, like, I saw a video, um, just so people know, like, and like, we're not just talking, like, if you're just listening, like, he's in this karate gi and he's doing, like, karate stuff just so you know, like, we are watching this movie, uh, while we're talking. But, I saw a video where someone was like, God, I wonder who this Batman guy is, you know? And
Uh-huh.
then it was like, it's Bruce Wayne. And they're like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
my
So
God,
see,
wait.
like Alfred's reaction there, they're for sure like having sex on the front lawn.
Well, no, not yet. See? It cuts back to him. But probably after that, yeah, for sure. But
Yeah,
anyways,
it cuts.
they're like, yeah, it's Bruce Wayne. And they're like, well, how do you know? Does everybody know? He goes, yeah, everybody knows. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, they have the exact same body type, and he's the only one rich enough to be able to do all that stuff. So it's Bruce Wayne. We just, we don't like to make a big deal out of it. It's like everyone in Gotham knows.
I like the joke that Jimmy Kimmel did for the like the promotional stuff for Batman v Superman, where he like he's like, "Oh my god, that's Superman right there," and then like he like tells Bruce Wayne like, "Hey, can you take a picture of us?" And he like takes the picture for people watching the video. He takes a picture like this, and then Jimmy's like, "You're Batman," and they're like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. And then like Jesse Eisenberg walks by and he's like, what's going on here? And he's like, oh, you got Batman and Superman here at your party. And he's like, what? Like, no, I don't. And he shows them and he's like, oh my God, you're right. It is.
Like it's so obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It might be more obvious for Clark Kent and Superman, but I don't know.
Uh, yeah, it's like the Pete Holmes joke of the whole, like, you just put on glasses. Like, that's not a disguise.
So,
Dude.
I mean, I can see why as a kid you would be kind of freaked out by this because it is sort of menacing and scary.
Hmm.
But man, I was obsessed with the claw hand. You know,
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, the skull face, the hood, all that stuff is so cool. Um, and then of
Now,
course,
I have
as a kid, you're just like, it's a lady. That's crazy.
what? Ladies can kill people too? Now here's a question. Do you think Andrea's plan was to frame Batman, or do you just think she was here just to enact her revenge?
No, I think it was just for revenge because like her costume isn't too much like Batman, right?
Uh-huh.
So I would think that that no, I think this is really purely just for event. Of course, like it's if she wanted to, she could have just made a bat suit, you know.
True, that's true. I think
So I don't think it's for nefarious framing purposes. I think people are just making that assumption because it's someone in a cape in the dark,
yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah. Um dude, and see, you got that Tim Burton like very like statuesque like architecture.
Yeah, I think, I think maybe that's why I liked the Superman show less is because it's so bright, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Superman show was so bright, and honestly, I've never really cared for much of Superman's stuff, you know? Because he's a nice guy, he can't ever die. It's like, you know, there's no
Yeah.
stakes, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Batman's a real guy, so I mean, if he gets shot in the head, he's gone, he's over. He's donezo, you know?
Dunzo Spagunzo.
I mean, um, you can shoot Superman with a kryptonite bullet, I guess. But
Yeah, but you got to find the kryptonite.
that's right.
Who's rich enough, but Bruce Wayne to have kryptonite?
I mean, if you were to watch the show Smallville, he just found it like as a piece of jewelry. you know?
So I'm gonna be real. Even though I know this movie's all about Batman, I never got on the Smallville like hype train. Like I knew so many people in like high school that love Smallville, and I'm like, I don't see it.
Yeah, my dad watched Smallville. He liked it. I'm sure up to a point. It's always up to a point because they get these shows. It was the WB at the time. They get too weird over time. It's like, where do you go? So
yeah,
Dad did the same thing with the Flash. He quit. So it's like, I get it.
yeah. Well, and the problem. See, here's the thing. Sorry, I'm gonna get on my soapbox real quick about this the Arrowverse. Like, the Arrow show is fantastic. I just hated what they did to the show because Stephen Amell like kind of called their bluff a little bit because he wanted to step down from the role as Green Arrow and he wanted to pass the torch to like a female version, and they were like, no, we only want to do the show with you. And they're like, so either you stay on or we're canceling the show. And he pretty much was like, well, I guess you're canceling the show then. And
Wow.
they're like, oh. And so then the Flash had to become like sort of the epicenter of the Arrowverse. And look, the Flash show is good. Haven't seen the last few seasons, but like it doesn't have the same pull as Arrow did. Like Arrow was so good. So good. And then yeah. Also, I love that she figures out almost immediately that it's Bruce.
Well, I mean, yeah, because he was. See, it's how everyone else would figure it out. It's where was he hanging out by this tombstone? Whose is it? Wayne. Yeah. They're like, oh wow, there you go. Now it says Wayne. Is it both his parents are buried?
Yeah, I think they're yeah.
That makes sense. You're right. This guy is gross.
Yeah, dude. Arthur sucks. I'm glad the Joker gasses him with laughing
Dude,
gas.
speaking of, very excited that they included Mark Hamill and the Joker in this story and he's also in the Batman vs Superman movie, also in that animated movie. I think it's just not. It's not Batman if you don't have the Joker, or it's not this Batman if you don't have Mark Hamill's Joker, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've seen the interview. I'm sure. I think Mark gave it a few years before Kevin passed away. He was talking about how whenever he got the call that they wanted him as Joker, he would say like, okay, well, is Kevin coming to be Batman? And if they said yes, he'd be like, cool, I don't need to know anything. I'm there.
Yeah.
But if they said no, he would tell his like representation just like, oh, okay, then respectfully decline. I don't want to do it unless Kevin does it. And it's
Yeah.
just because he and Kevin had such a way to like bounce off one another, that he only wanted to do it with Kevin.
Of course.
And
I mean, why would you want to do it with anybody else? You know?
yeah, and we've had some good Batman, not, I wouldn't say replacements, but good like Batman like voice actors, like
Mhm.
our boy Bruce Greenwood voiced him in
Yeah.
one animated movie. Jensen Ackles voiced him in the I think the Long Halloween.
I think that's right.
We've had some good Batman voice actors, but man, Kevin Conroy. But unfortunately, I can't say the same about the Joker. Mark Hamill is the Joker.
Right.
Like
It's weird. Like, for instance, The Batman. I don't know if you watched that show.
I
I've
tried
seen
to
a
get
few
into
episodes. It's pretty good, right?
it. Mm-hmm.
But that Joker is so different. I mean, you have to go way different, right? So that Joker is almost ape-like, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
weird. He's more
Yeah,
of an animal, you know.
yeah,
Um,
and I
and that
think
voice
he's
actor,
voiced.
I'm blanking on his name. But he's a great
I
voice
think
actor.
it's
God, he's been in so many things.
yeah, and I think he voiced um Principal. I think he's the
Oh,
principal in
Principal
American
Lewis.
Dad. Yes.
Yes, he's Principal
And
Lewis on American Dad. Yeah.
yeah, here, let me see. Where I'm looking at the cast list for it.
Okay.
Wow, that show was from 2004, dude.
Yeah, I mean it's older than you think it is.
Uh, yes. Uh, yes. Yeah. Kevin Michael Richardson. He was also Jerome in Family Guy.
Oh, that's right. He's Cleveland Jr. too. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But what I like also about this is compared to the series is he's not wearing his brown suit and yellow shirt. I mean, he's a
Who?
billionaire, you know? Get very
Oh,
close.
you're talking about
Yeah.
Bruce. I'm like, who's not wearing what?
The brown
Um,
suit I mean, it's iconic now, but the brown suit and yellow shirt, it's gross and I don't like it. I've never liked it. I was like, he could have always done better, which is why in the new adventures of Batman and Robin, he's black suit, red tie, which is good job. He nailed it.
yeah, and you know what's interesting? I'm glad you brought up the New Adventures, because isn't that technically like season 5 or something like
Yeah, it's
that?
like season 4 and
Technically,
5, maybe.
the New Adventures, they like redesigned almost all the Rogues Gallery, and I was watching a video of someone like going through the redesigns, and a lot of them they just kind of chalked it up to, well, this is what he looks like now. There we go.
Yeah, there's no explanation. Everyone's just redesigned, and it's okay.
Um, and like the one that fascinates me the most is the Penguin, because in the original animated series, the Penguin looks a lot more like Danny DeVito with like the webbed hand and stuff like that. But then in the New Adventures, he's got like regular digits,
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, because he had essentially plastic surgery on his hands.
like you don't need to explain it. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're just gonna move on. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the redesigns were some of it was fine. Like I think the best upgrade for we'll get to the movie in a second. I'm so sorry, everyone who's listening. The best redesign was the Scarecrow just version.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just bar none. That was the best redesign. It got so much scarier and so much cooler looking, but everyone else sort of like basically the same.
can I say that's interesting that he took his eyes off that guy for like 5 seconds, and he got like fucked up, bro.
See, this is what people should have known, that like he might be Batman, because it's like, did that guy just hit you with a motorcycle? Are you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm fine.
It,
Like,
yeah,
are you Batman?
did he jump, like did he jump on your motorcycle while it was coming full speed? Um Yeah, see, but this goes back to like what you're talking about, with it being just as much like a Bruce Wayne story.
Mhm.
Which I fully agree. I think it's really cool when they like, I don't want to say demystify, but humanize the hero, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
to use like more
it
modern.
delves in more to the, like the motivations and like the psychology of Bruce Wayne
Mhm.
as
Like
right.
yeah, I was just saying, to use like a more modern example, the Insomniac Spider-Man game. They said it's just as much a Peter Parker story as it is a Spider-Man story, and I fully agree, because like they wanted to have that balance, and like this is one of my favorite scenes.
Wow, let's go.
Speaking of the balancing, when he's like essentially begging his parents, like there's got to be another way.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool. All like just like the manifestation of his guilt almost.
Yeah.
And see, that's also kind of fucked up that he didn't count on being happy.
It's devastating. But
Yeah.
like there's also an episode of the series that delves into this also. I'm trying to remember which episode it was, but it was a cool episode. Um, it was like a weird, like it was like a hallucinating episode, or it was like a dream episode where he was either dreaming or having a nightmare, or he was hallucinating. I don't remember, but it was something very similar to that scene
Mm-hmm.
at his parents' grave. Yeah,
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, bro, I hate Arthur, especially when we get the reveal. Again, this is kind of a spoiler and jumping ahead, but when we get the reveal that he betrays Andrea's dad.
now this is like again they're making assumptions on their own that it's Batman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, and I really like, as much of a grounded story as this is, I do like that they're kind of keeping it kind of small, just
Mhm.
like within the mob of Gotham,
Yeah,
you know. Um, I do like this line though. It's not very healthy in here, and then like, um, dude, and I've also always loved the font that they use in this show.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and when has he ever used those fencing swords?
Yeah, it's okay. Um, I really like how this movie goes back and forth, right? It's going, you know, it's going modern day or present day, and it's going flashbacks, and then back and forth
Mm-hmm.
like that. Um, I really like that structure for this story um, because as he's trying to, solve this, this case with the mob and with the Phantasm, obviously we're getting this backstory um, with him and her, but it's not super obvious that it's her,
Mhm.
right? Um,
Well, they did a really good job of kind of really doing this as sort of a noir,
mhm.
you know, and also focusing on Batman being more of a detective, which of course the animated series does an amazing job of that anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's. I mean, to think back on why I loved it so much, um, is that that's probably what drew me to it in the first place was number one how it looked, right?
mhm,
This noir type, and of course I keep talking about the aesthetic of the and how everything looks in the show and in the movie. Um, it's amazing, right? And you hit it. It's like very noir, and that's what makes the animated series so great. Um,
yeah. How many carats do you think that ring was, by the way?
too
Uh,
scary,
yeah, too scary.
too scary.
Um, yeah, he's got business
Dangerous
company.
business.
Yeah. Also, when was he ever wearing that jacket? Like, we did not see him wearing that jacket earlier. So,
I
like,
think he may have just had it like next to him, but no, good. That's a good observation. I don't know.
man, he flicked a cigarette at the Rolls Royce, probably. Now that's something else I like. Again, I'm jumping ahead, but I like that we kind of get more of this sort of also backstory with the Joker as
Mhm.
well. That the Joker's sort of been ingrained in Bruce's life for a while.
Yeah, forever basically.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And see, and that's another thing about this that I've always liked is that it was heartbreak that really drove him over the edge to become Batman.
Hmm. And not so
Where,
much vengeance, or to avenge his parents' death. It's yes, of course, that's what started it, but you're right. What really, you
sealed the
know,
deal.
yeah,
Yeah.
was his heartbreak that if he's not going to be happy or have this sort of idyllic life that he wants. God, that shot too
Yeah.
good
I know. And
with
I
the
love
mask.
this,
Oh
dude.
my God. Um, that he has nothing to lose. Yeah.
Yeah. That he can become, yeah, exactly what Gotham. Dude, this movie's so good.
I
God,
know.
it's so good. And like, and it's just the right time. It's only an hour and 16 minutes long, and
Yeah,
that's perfect.
I agree.
Um, Now I will say, sidebar. Speaking of Batman animated movies, the Killing Joke, the
Mhm.
first 30 minutes, I heard someone say that it's meant to be sort of like reminiscent of the animated series.
Mhm.
Um, I don't get that at all. I actually don't like the first 30 minutes because it it
At the first 30 minutes of The Killing Joke is like filler to me. It's
really
more like
is.
we need a movie length, you know, Batman. It's like, okay, but we only have 30 minutes of material for The Killing Joke. Like, let's just make something up at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here he is, bro.
Oh, here we go. The best.
Dude.
Mark
And
Hamill
well,
said he would practice his laugh on the way to the studio every day.
and it was always different, and he would try to remember, but he would be like, no, that makes it even better that
Yeah.
it's different each time.
Yeah, it's inconsistent, which is good because it doesn't seem over rehearsed. It seems more organic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mark Hamill is first and foremost, no matter what he's done in his career, I think he is perfect as a voice actor. He knows exactly what to do,
Oh, for sure, for sure. You
and
know,
he knows how to hone it.
to use another modern example for our regular show fans out there, he's also Skips, and it's Mark Hamill's fantastic,
Yeah.
and I think the older he's gotten, the more he's proven like how good of an act. Well, I mean, he's always been a fantastic actor, but I feel like the older he's gotten, he's made a lot more decisions like
Yeah.
The Fall of the House of Usher that I think really showcases his range. But just hearing his voice, like, also again, speaking of, since I just finished my playthrough of Arkham Knight, I can tell that he has gotten older, which is interesting because his Joker voice now is a little bit higher pitched
Hmm.
than it is
Oh
here,
yeah, I guess.
but it's still fantastic. And it's so shocking that he knows how to balance menacing and joyful glee, you
Hmm.
know.
I agree.
Guano Man. See, and this is something that I've always liked that they've kind of redone a little bit, which is people getting desperate and going to the Joker.
Yeah.
Um in in Under the Red Hood, the animated movie, there's a scene where Black Mask says that he has to. Oh, wait, hang on. See, right there, the
Yeah.
balancing of menacing and joyful glee, like,
Yeah.
but Black Mask goes like, in order to do this, I have to make a deal with a psychotic, and he approaches the Joker.
I mean, absolutely. I think I do like this dynamic of the Joker and other villains, that they come to him for things.
Mm-hmm.
I do really like that as well. I think that's even how the Batman Superman movie goes, where I think maybe Lex Luthor goes to the Joker, if I'm not mistaken. Although, again, that's also been like 15, 20 years since I've seen
That's
that
true.
movie. Even though I do
Also,
have a copy of it, it's over there.
also, I love that she puts on a show because she knows Batman's in her apartment.
Hmm.
Um, well, and of course, as we just said, that she figured out it's Bruce, so she intentionally, passionately kisses Arthur just to piss him off,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Okay, hang on. It's interesting because she's the one who left him. So
Hmm.
why is she being sort of petty about
Right.
things?
I don't know. She's
You
awful.
know? Well, I think we're meant to believe she's awful,
Well, yeah.
and then of course, it's revealed that she was actually doing it to protect Bruce, and
Dang. Oof.
Ooh, dude, that was a sick burn.
Damn. Fair
And
for the parents.
that I know, dude, and he could have hit her with a goosebumps walk away. But see, like I said, like I think we're meant to believe that
Yeah.
she's kind of a bitch, but then like we get this scene, and it's like, that probably killed her to say that to him.
Yeah.
You
Oh, there
know.
she is. Or there he is. Um,
Oh, um, yeah, dude. Also, I love this reveal. Hang on, I'm gonna shut up for a second because I love this reveal. I love the reveal that Joker just killed him anyway.
so scary.
No, no. Also, that's a little adult for a kids movie where he pretty much says that like all the body parts are going to be scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always love that reveal that Valestra was desperate enough to come to the Joker, and the Joker killed him anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he can never be trusted, you know?
Yeah. Dude, and this is one of my favorite chase sequences.
It is okay, so this is obviously stepped up a bit from the show, I think, in terms of production value. Because,
Oh
like,
yeah.
him weaving in the buildings, right? In his airplane,
Batwing.
the Batwing
Yeah.
is super cool, super slick, right? And a little bit fancier than this show, right?
Mhm.
Again, this is separated, and not only budget, of course, like they ramped it up a little bit, and of course also the story itself is sort of separate from the show.
Yeah. Also, I love how they were trying to like get into the Batwing when they clearly see him on the other rooftop.
Well, maybe
Like,
there's clues. There's clues in the Batwing.
That's true.
He's just got a picture of him and Alfred, just like Bruce and Alfred, just like on the dash.
like an old like Polaroid.
Yeah,
He's got tucked behind the steering wheel.
yeah. And you're like, wait a minute.
Well, dude, I was just making that same point. So in Arkham Knight, he has like this video gauntlet where he presses it and he can have like a video conference with someone.
Mhm.
Most of the time it's Alfred, and Alfred literally calls him Master Bruce, and he does this in front of people. And this is like later in the game, it's revealed that like Scarecrow reveals to the world that Batman is Bruce Wayne. But so like this is happening throughout the entire game, and I'm like, people can hear him calling you Master Bruce.
Like, hey man, read the room. Like,
yeah.
I am in public right now.
Yeah, I'll call you when I'm in private.
If the mask is on, it is not Master Bruce, my man.
So again, this is another one of my favorite parts, man. Of them trying to track him down. Look at all that blood, man.
So much. Just, oh my god, he's like covered in it. It's like it's like Dead Alive over here, man. It's just like
it's like the scene in the reboot of Evil Dead. It's just raining blood.
Dude, it's like Kill Bill over here, man. Like, it's so much.
Now, for everyone who doesn't know, we're obviously joking. It's got like 2 trickles of blood. He does
have a little bit of blood on him, which is again like sort of not series approved.
Yeah. Faked him out, bro.
Damn. Got him.
But also, like, not a smart move to have the cowl attached to the cape.
He does it technically because like when it's that flashback and he puts on the suit for the first time, the mask is separate. He has the cape on already.
Exactly. Yeah. So I wonder if maybe this was like a specific suit that the cape was attached to the cowl.
Or he's got a way to attach it real quick and throw it on.
Maybe. Because then later in the movie, he takes the cape off, but the cowl stays on. So
see? He's got a whole bunch. He got mix and match them.
Yeah. Also, I've always loved the design of Wayne Manor in the animated series. It's not like, obviously you can tell it's like a big house, but it's not like Christian Bale's in Batman Begins.
Right, which is basically like Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, remember that conversation we had like 10 minutes ago? Like, Also, you should just call him the world's greatest detective.
See, and again, like this movie kind of goes into him, doing a little bit of sleuthing, which I like.
Yeah.
Which is what Matt Reeves' Batman does really well, also.
Yeah, that for sure would be a future episode.
For sure.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're not gonna get part 2 for another 2 years.
Yeah. Which is disappointing, but what are you gonna do?
Sorry, I was checking my phone, and Alex sent us that thing about all the Spider-Man movies coming back to theaters, and Emily said that Toby was the worst Spider-Man, and I'm about to be like, well, we can't be friends anymore.
Yeah, well, it's over.
We had a good run.
Yeah.
Now that's a Goosebumps walk away. That he'll have his heart in his hand. Now here's what's funny. Not funny. Really good storytelling. All 3 of those guys are already dead in what we know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the structure of the story is expertly done. It's very, very good. And again, not something you would associate with like a children's program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like a kid's cartoon. Like, I mean, this is very sophisticated. It's very well put together. It's taken very seriously, which is why it holds up, right? Why the show holds up, and why it's just still so good.
I agree. Now here's a question.
Right?
Even though he just said that, like, if he can't get the money to the mob, they'll kill them both. Why would this pass to Andrea, especially considering if Bruce just proposed to her? He could probably pay the mafia off.
You could.
So many good lines too. What an interest compounded in blood. I mean, I'm not making fun of the line. It's a good line.
No, it's a great line. So Dana Delaney.
Okay. Andrea, like she was like, this is twice I've come into your life and screwed it up. And it's like, Andrea, his parents were killed in front of him as a child. His life's already screwed up.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
God, there's Alfred again.
Dude, and Bruce is going to say that he's got to keep the utility belt on during.
He has to keep it on during, yeah.
The belt stays on. Oh, sorry. What were you saying about David Delaney?
Oh, Dana Delaney. She plays Andrea. She's so good.
Yeah, she is.
Let's see. On IMDb, it's the second thing that she's known for, which is great.
Yeah,
but of course, she's also in Tombstone, which is.
Who's she in Tombstone?
Let's see. I don't remember her name. Josephine? In Tombstone?
Isn't that the one that Kurt Russell falls in love with?
Yes. Oh, I don't want to be wrong about that. I'm going to say I don't know. Because I don't really remember.
And see, I love that Alfred keeps referring to Batman as the alter ego, when we all know Bruce Wayne's the alter ego.
Yeah.
Also, dude, I love this so much. This reveal that Bruce is like, wait a minute. Like, this guy right here. And I love that it's just like, it slightly looks like the Joker, and he's like, wait a minute. Let me take this red pencil real quick.
Like, where do you even get that red pencil?
I know. So good. And then Okay, now here's the thing.
Okay.
He's the district attorney.
Mhm.
Why is he getting all pissy about precincts?
So hold on. So if he's the district attorney, has Harvey Dent's already Two-Face at this point?
Yes.
Okay. I do like that the Joker, like, not just in this movie but in the show, has like a it's kind of cold outfit. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
he's always got his trench coat and his hat.
Well, you know what's reminding me of a little bit? Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Definitely. This is definitely a callback to Jack Nicholson's like gangster Joker, for sure.
And see, and you know, speaking of that, you know, we do kind of get that with this, that he clearly had mob connections at some point. But he's still kind of like the clown prince of crime kind of
Mhm.
vibe going.
Now, are they also insinuating that he's wearing makeup and it's not dyed skin?
Maybe that see that that is a good question. You know, because it's almost like they're trying to give him another backstory, kind of like the Killing Joke comic did.
Yeah.
Um,
Because like, or they're going into, which would make perfect sense, that they're leaning more into the Tim Burton style backstory, that was him then, right?
mm-hmm.
Um, so which makes sense because I mean, like you said at the beginning, this is all because of Tim Burton's Batman, right? So it makes perfect sense that they would be maybe insinuating that sort of backstory, or they're insinuating a backstory that's probably not true, right? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, you know what? We don't need to know. I've never wanted to know the Joker's backstory.
No,
You
he's
know,
much more mysterious and menacing with no backstory.
yeah. You know, um. Oh yeah. So Arthur's been gassed with laughing gas.
This is
Um.
sort of like the episode. One of my favorite episodes from the series is with the fish, the
Uh-huh.
laughing fish. It was so scary because like here it's like unsettling, but in the series, like their lips would turn bright red and their eyes would be yellow, and like with the gas or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
it was terrifying. This is less so.
I wonder. I wonder when exactly they did that episode. Like if it was like if they were doing the movie while they're, you know, or maybe they wanted to do something a little different with the laughing gas
So I
for
think about that a
the
lot
movie.
because like in terms of like in terms of chronologically, like when the episodes came out and like when this came out, like when was Mark Hamill's first time doing it? Right, I saw something that said
Uh-huh.
this was, but I go, that's impossible because it came out. It came out
Yeah, this
afterward,
came like
right?
this came out I think like deep in like they were deep into the
Yeah, they were a
show.
year or
Uh,
two into the show, and so like that
yeah.
can't be right. And so then I'm like, well, I don't know which episode it is. I think on like the Blu-rays and the DVDs, it was like a Christmas episode. It's the first time you see the Joker.
Yes, I think
Um,
so because we both have the complete series
yeah,
collection,
of
right?
course. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
must-have for any household.
Absolutely. I need to get the Batman Beyond one, but
You do.
it's I think it's like gone up in price now on Amazon. Here, let me check real quick.
I'll see. I got the
It's
standard snap case. I was like, I just wanted it. So,
yeah, but unfortunately I'm too extra.
I mean,
It's like
off topic than usual. Check Walmart. It'll be kind of expensive, but they're doing steel books now, and there's a steel book Batman Beyond animated series collectors. said so.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Walmart's stepping up their game with physical media. Go check out your local Walmart. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, which is really interesting, man. Because like your copy of Oppenheimer that I'm jealous that you have,
Mm.
was on there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's a question: why would he answer?
Well, why not?
Airmail. Yeah, so like right now on Amazon, the Batman Beyond complete series with the Funko Pop is $101.
Oh my god.
Considering it was only like 80 when it first came out.
Yeah, you're better off getting the Walmart one. It's way cheaper than that.
Oh, that's interesting. Sorry. I scrolled down a little bit and it says frequently returned item on Amazon.
Oh.
Oh, see, this is when we get the reveal that Andrea's
Is the Phantasm.
Yeah.
What I like about the Joker is that, much like Batman, they customize everything. Like that bomb had a face on it, you know?
Yeah.
I like that they take the time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, here, let me yeah, because Bruce doesn't know her dad's dead, right? Even though they just told the audience, like, oh yeah, the dad's dead.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, but then like I can buy the complete series on Walmart with the Funko, and it's $100, whole dollar cheaper. But no, dude, that steelbook actually looks pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's actually pretty sick. See, that's almost like they just implied that he is wearing a costume because he said, the costume's a bit theatrical, but who am I to talk?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. He might also just be talking about the purple suit. He doesn't have to wear purple. I guess
that's true. Dude, he just full on like gut punched her.
Well, yeah, he doesn't care. Like he probably hits Harley all the time.
Well, we haven't, but we haven't met Harley.
We haven't met Harley,
at least...
right?
Okay, and also, when did he have the time to like reprogram all these robots?
But I've always liked that he lives in like this abandoned amusement park.
This abandoned version of like Tomorrowland.
Yeah, I like that.
So it makes me wonder, how did she draw the comparison to that was the Joker,
I don't know. Maybe she did the same thing he did. It's like she also got a red pencil and she was like, yep, I know it.
It's been the Joker the whole time. Smokey the Babe. There's so many good one-liners, bro.
Too good.
Dude.
That's why he's the best.
Yeah. I just had this thought pretty late into this. Is like, like, what if we've been recording the video this whole time and people can't hear the movie, they can just hear us?
Well, no, I think that's sort of like, we hope that's the case so they can watch the movie and just listen to us the whole time. I think that's sort of the whole thing.
That's true.
Listen to us while you watch it. I can't imagine if like they had to sync it up that perfect You know, if they're like listening to it, like if they're just
No,
watching, I mean that's perfectly fine.
yeah, no, I meant like, yeah, if they're watching it, like, but they want to listen to the movie while we're talking. But dude, I can't believe he just wasted the bat motorcycle. I honestly don't know what it's called.
Yeah, just it's a cool motorcycle, you know.
Yeah,
but I mean, you can just buy another one. That's what he's there for, you know. This is going to be a silly thing to say, but I really like. It's going to be so stupid. I really like that his cape covers him completely.
mm-hmm.
You know, I really like that. Like if he just lets his arms down or whatever, like it covers his front too. You know.
Yeah.
I always thought that was so cool.
Damn, that's coming from the dude whose whole thing is vengeance. Sorry, you said, you know, like, what will vengeance solve?
I think, but of course, like that's sort of the point of this film is like it's vengeance and heartbreak have brought them both to this vigilantism, right?
Well, and see, man, and this is one of the things I love when it's done correctly, especially with Batman, is when they make the comparison that, you know, this person is like the flip side of Batman. So, you know, Andrea's Phantasm is if Bruce really let himself go and like would kill people.
Yeah.
You know, that would be Andrea.
Definitely.
Oh, little Warner Brothers logo right there. some selfless shame promotion right there.
You gotta get it in somewhere.
But you know, because that's what the Joker's whole thing is in the Killing Joke is Batman's one bad day from becoming him, you know. And even like, look, I know a lot of people, Zach, I don't know, maybe you might roll your eyes at this, but even in Batman Forever, he makes that comparison with Chris O'Donnell's Robin. Like, if you pursue vengeance, like it's not gonna be what you think it is. And also, he just knocked out the Joker's fucking tooth. But yeah, you know, so the point I was just making is I really like when they take a Batman story and they pit him against someone who he could turn into, you know?
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that too. I like that, you know, we get these characters that, you're right, are going in the same direction as Batman, or Batman is like they have this similar experience, yet, you know, you're right, their paths have taken them to like maybe a darker place or like a more violent place or whatever, or they're just not willing to put in that sort of those sort of boundaries that Batman uses or Bruce Wayne uses.
Yeah. You know, and it's kind of what Matt Reeves used a little bit for the Batman, you know, that the Riddler, his version of the Riddler is, you know, he's inspired by Batman. So like, what if I went that extra step and, you know, actually killed people?
Definitely.
And also that was the part I'm talking about where he takes off the cape, breaks the helicopters, and then puts it back on, but the cowl stayed on. So a very theatrical escape.
So cool. The jetpack is so cool.
It really is, dude. Like, everything about this movie is just so fucking good.
Yeah.
And again, I love that he just knocks out the Joker's tooth. Like, it's
you know, and it's cool that, you know, you can't do shortcuts anymore in animation if, you know, the character has changed in any sort of way, right? And so they keep it consistent, which is, you know, good for them. You know?
Yeah. Except for, like we've been talking about with the show, in the show, he doesn't have a missing tooth.
Right. I mean, he probably had it fixed or put back in.
Yeah. Yeah. Pulled a Ezra Miller and glued it back in. That's what they do in the Flash movie. His tooth gets knocked out and he glues it back in.
Just glues it? God.
Yeah. Also, I think this is the most messed up Batman we've seen for the animated series, like physically. I mean,
Probably.
he gets wrecked.
Yeah. Well, again, it's just like, so much blood.
Yeah.
It's
like the end of It Chapter 2. It also makes me wonder when the Joker had time to plan this contingency,
Yeah. Maybe he's always got it going.
Yeah.
He is crazy, so it's like, let's just always keep a bomb in there. You never know.
That's true. I did watch a video where someone was like, because like he goes through a manhole cover, and that's where she escaped from. But a lot of people are like, wouldn't he have like seen them already by now?
She's fast.
Yeah.
All right, so this is gonna be so stupid again.
Okay.
I've kind of always wanted to like go and walk around a sewer to see what it's like, because like they make it seem like there's so much room down there.
So much room for activities.
It's basically a cave, right? It's basically like the Batcave, right? Except it's gross. But like, is that really how sewers are, or is this just like a thing that they do on movies and TV? I don't know.
It's probably a thing that they do for movies and TV.
Maybe, right? But it's like, I don't know. Because like in The Fugitive, like he goes down into the sewers, right? And escapes via that waterfall. And it's like there was so much room in that sewer.
Yeah. Also, and this is what we were just talking about, Alfred trying to reassure Bruce that like essentially that Andrea was too far gone.
Yeah.
Because he just said that like I don't think anything could have pulled her back. But then like when did she have time to hide her locket in the Batcave? And also, how did she get into the Batcave?
Again, she's fast. I don't even know, like, I don't need to keep explaining it to you. Like, she's just fast. Yeah.
Well, and see, and I love that the movie ends on such a Titanic cliffhanger. Also, I will say some of the character designs, like I remember when I saw this as a kid, I was like, wait, I thought Arthur was in a mental institution.
Oh yeah, it does kind of look like him a little bit, yeah.
But that's not Arthur.
Now it's Jughead. He's got the hat.
Aw, she's always alone.
Damn.
Here we go, bro. Here we go. It's so good.
I know, it's the best.
Son of a bitch, it's so good.
I saw a video where this guy was talking about the evolution of the bat signal in movies, right? Each movie, it keeps getting more and more realistic, right? Like how it would look like for realsies on a cloud,
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, no matter how bright you got that thing, it would never show up on a cloud. So just do it. Just make it look like a cartoon, because that's just as believable as having it be blurry on a cloud. It's like, I get it.
Yeah.
But I would recommend like Googling like the evolution of the bat signal to see like the different iterations of it, because it gets way worse and way blurrier and way less legible over time.
Yeah, until we get to the Batman, and you
It's
can
barely
barely make
there.
it out.
Yeah. Well,
it's because that was it, everyone.
that was it.
I'm gonna go press pause on that real quick. There we go.
All right, we did
here.
it. We talked through the whole thing.
We became the worst people at a movie theater.
I'm not sure if this is even going to be listenable. Like, if this, like, someone's going to, like, I can't do it. And I get it. So, or even worse, if you are listening, like, on Spotify or Apple podcasts or whatever, and you can hear the movie too, like, completely bananas. Like, I don't recommend you listen to that at all. Like, I can't imagine listening to all of it at the same time.
So I think the audio for sure, people are just going to hear our reactions.
That's good.
But yeah, I guess we'll see with the video. I guess we'll see when I start to edit this, and yeah. I'll shoot you a text and be like, "Oh yeah, you can't hear it," or I may be like, "Oh no, you can hear it."
Oops.
I would assume with the audio, people probably can't. But let's get into the wrap up. So, yes. So man, the movie's fantastic.
Yeah, the movie is rock solid.
It's so good. I mean, for sure, of the Batman films I've seen in my life, which is virtually all of them, except for a lot of the animated ones, because they've been cranking those out. Dude,
there's so many of those. I mean, I do have like the 80th anniversary of Batman. I'm really jealous. Like those animated movies, I have those. I've seen some of those.
Yeah, I'm really jealous that you have that.
Some of them are pretty cool, man. Like Year One. There's the Frank Miller ones.
Batman Returns.
Yes.
Oh, no, Batman Returns.
The Dark Knight Returns.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. Those are good.
Yeah, I've seen those. That was really cool.
Under the Red Hood is in that one. I mean, there's cool ones. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but of the Batman films I've seen, this one, it's on another level. I mean, like the live action ones are fantastic.
Obviously.
Again, what Nolan did, Nolan walked so Matt Reeves could run, and those four movies specifically, the Nolan trilogy and Matt Reeves Batman, those movies are just a real testament as to like really good storytelling. But then again, so is this movie.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like, especially now, I've tend to like really have the idea of if there's something that's animated and we want to make a movie, right? Or like the studios want to make a movie, they want to make some sort of adaptation of this animated thing, and they go like live action. I go, don't do that, because the animation, number one, people love it, right? People love the animation already. Yeah. Like, and there are things you can do in animation that you can't do live action. So like the Joker getting his jetpack and like trying to escape on a jet, like, be real, right? Like, let's not do that in live action, because then that's too much suspension of disbelief, and that's not going to work, right?
Yeah,
but like with animation, I mean, like there's so much you can do with animation, and it's perfect, right? Like hiding the fact that the Phantasm is a woman would be so much harder in live action, I feel like, right? Unless you just have a stand-in, right?
Yeah, which is probably what they would do. They'd probably have, there would be someone credited as Phantasm stand-in or something like that.
But like even earlier today, you texted us something that was like fan casting Teen Titans, right?
Oh yeah, Alex texted us that, and I some of it I was okay with, but then a lot of it I was like,
But
no.
I would just like give us the original OG Teen Titans animation and give us a movie, you know?
Yeah.
Because
I
that's
second
better,
that, man.
you know?
Yeah, for real.
Because that's better.
But yeah, man, and this movie will always hold such a good place in my heart, you know, man. Like it was the only VHS I had growing up that I didn't wear out. Because I wore out our Toy Story VHS because I watched it so much. I almost wore out a Goofy movie, which we talked about in our Goofy movie episode.
Yeah.
Shout out to that episode. But this one I never wore out, and I think it was because I really enjoyed it so much that and again, this is maybe me not necessarily misremembering, but maybe like looking at it through a different lens.
Mhm.
That maybe I knew this movie was something special that I was like, I need to watch this sparingly, but
Preserve it.
then again,
Don't get tired of it.
Yeah, and that's giving younger Rain way too much credit. It may have just been like, okay, like I watched it. Okay, I'll watch Toy Story again.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But I love this movie, and like I always talk about it with Ashley. I don't think she's seen it, but it's mainly because Batman's not really one of her favorite superheroes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Haley does not care for Batman, so which is fine.
Yeah.
It's like not a big deal, but it's okay.
I only cry on the inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the movie's just so great.
Yeah.
And you know, and every time I watch it, it always makes me want to do a rewatch of the animated series, which I should.
Definitely should.
Because there's a lot about the animated series I don't remember. But I remember this movie backwards to forwards.
I'll text you, like, there's this podcast that I like of these two guys. I think they're brothers. They might be best friends. They're from the UK, and they go episode by episode for the animated series. They did the same thing with Spider-Man, the animated series. Yeah. And their logo,
sweet Jesus,
their logo is Batman. It's just his cowl, you know, just from like the chin up, and he's got earbuds in his cowl ears.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, it's genius.
So real Rescue Rangers situation with Chip's AirPods.
His AirPods,
yeah. Dude, shout out to the Rescue Rangers movie. That movie was awesome.
Yes,
and
100%.
And I met them. So Future Rain move that picture across the screen.
Yeah,
that I met Chip and Dale in dinosaur costumes because they were in Dino Land at Animal Kingdom.
Unreal.
But anyway, well, Jeremy, do you think this? Do you hope this experiment worked really well?
I do. I hope that it's tolerable. I hope that it's listenable. But if not, we're going back to form next week anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, everyone. So if you enjoyed this, let us know. Leave a comment on the Facebook. Store me if you listen to this episode. You were really good about leaving a thing for the Spotify Q&A.
She was.
But yeah, like Jeremy said, everyone, next week we're going back to form because next week we are continuing our end of season series with part 2, The Matrix Reloaded, which will be interesting for me because this will be a first watch for you.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what you have to say. I think you're going to agree with me. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with Reloaded, but I think you're going to agree with me, which is it has a lot of interesting setup, but then you're like, where does it go from there?
Yeah. I listen, I'm excited. I'm sure I'm not going to hate it. So that's as good as it's going to get, I think.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, we hoped you enjoyed our 200th episode special. We didn't say it at the top of the show, but thank you for listening for 200 episodes. And we will see you next week for our end of season series part 2.